Hey guys, and welcome back to Sonic Unleashed. The cool, fragrant air of the Spagonian night. I sure hope no Dark Gaia minions are going to pop out and cause havoc and whatnot, Flame?
Yeah, well, just, we've got this camera that we've just been given. We're going to just have a nice peaceful evening, get some scenery shots, and what the fuck's going on here?
No, guys! We've got to dance the night away!
I tried to stop him. I put a clause in the contract and everything. Not the most graceful transition into this bizarre cutscene, but I guess we've got to show off, the populace being affected by the Dark Gaia willies and whatnot.
Yeah, no. It's just like their fucking stands coming out behind them, the way that animation came in.
Yeah, a little bit. And interestingly enough, this is one, part of Unleashed where it does differ between console versions. In the Wii version, we get this.
This is so fucking ridiculous.
It's like a fucking QuickTime event. Can you fail this at all, Flame?
I never have failed it. I don't know if you can, but... Also, QTEs are very slightly more difficult on the Wii one because I'm using the classic controller so that I can't just see the button colours like you can on the Xbox one.
Oh, okay.
But I imagine if you're using the GameCube controller, you still got that better visual prompt. But,
yeah. I don't understand the need for the change at all. I'm sure the Wii version could have done something akin to this, but I guess they just wanted to change it up. Put a bit of variety. A bit more bang for your buck.
QTE's variety now, because, that says a bit about the industry. But...
That thing in the background, clipping through the lamppost is triggering me something first.
Now, I think the reason why they did that is because in the Wii version you never get to run around the hub worlds.
Ah, yes,
So clearly the hub worlds just don't exist in the Wii version, therefore they would have had to have this whole render to be able to do that particular fight. But
good point.
No, it's just that QTE. Oh my god, it was awful.
Well, to be fair, they could have loaded up a little portion of Spagonian Night, one of them little box areas, but nah, just throw some QTEs together.
Tell me, what's happened to him?
So yeah, the penny's dropped. Amy now knows that Sonic has become Ultra Giga Furry, and the quest is on to try and help him, and whatnot. And this brings us to a thing that I was kind of worried about when the Werehog was first unveiled, and that's, I thought Sonic was going to have a, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of thing going on, because the very first piece of, concept art we saw for the Werehog was Sonic being all heroic and posing hey, yeah, I'm a hero in the front, but in the back, in the shadows, you had the Werehog looking like, grrr, I'm ultra furry. And no, it turns out that Sonic keeps his personality. There's a plot reason for why he does that, as we'll find out later, and Amy is as annoying as ever. Let's continue.
Oh, come on. Amy's quite cute in this game. She's not entirely that offensive. Amy has been far, far, far worse.
Name one game where she's worse.
Heroes?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Sonic Adventure 2?
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 1?
Yeah, Tom, what point were you trying to make there?
I don't know, Flame. Do you have anything to add to this?
Not really. Other than that, in regards to the multiple personality thing, I'm not sure how well they would have been able to pull that off, because I can see that being the kind of thing that with Sonic Team's approach to that kind of thing, I could have seen that getting a bit sort of out of the edge for overly wanky very quickly. So I'm glad they didn't try and give a darker personality to Sonic.
I'm trying to remember how they handled it in the Archie comics, because I think at the time of recording that arc has recently finished, and I think he got a bit more aggressive, and that's about it. I think that's the most you could have done with this, without taking it back to the dark era of Archie comics, and I think we all know what that entails. Destiny!
So this is one thing where I've never actually followed the comics outside of showing the odd bit of interest during the Mega Man crossovers, but yeah.
Chunan, the not China of the game, or I guess Asia in terms of continent and whatnot.
Yes, I mean basically this is Asia, but it is very much China more than anything else, as we will see when we eventually get into all of the Chunan levels, because quite well. At least one or two of them are based off of the Great Wall of China. So it's very obviously China, but then you do have, I think, a few small Japanese influences around, but not many. Also, I love the Chunan hub world, but it chugs like an absolute bloody sod. I think it's that bleeding waterfall.
It is, yeah. It's just like there's too many water particles. Tone it down.
Yeah, the water does kill it, and even when we get into the level, like even in the Wii version, like that struggles a bit in parts thanks to the waterfalls. Like it must be quite a complex thing going on there.
I mean, you know, it's liquid and whatnot. It's not like a Sonic running about. The water has to react to itself at some point, I suppose. Really? No, I shouldn't make fun of names, but Wang the Impeding. Might as well call him Penis the No-Go.
I'm glad you are the one who addressed that and not me.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for, I suppose.
But essentially what's going on here is that their elder has gone missing, and that's our excuse to go through the levels. We've got to go find the Q9 elder.
Gotcha. Damn, yeah, the frame rate is not loving all this lustrous water and feng shui and whatnot.
But the thing is, like, in this game, this isn't even anywhere near the worst it gets, and that's kind of a serious problem.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we're moving on to the Wii stages first, Flame.
Yeah, the Wii one's first up, and this is around the point of the game where the Werehog stages actually sort of grew on me. To a point where I should say that the Wii version, I didn't actually play that until a bit later on, so I had this sort of preconception about the Werehog from how much I really didn't like it, playing through the 360 version war. And so going into the Wii one, and it's broken down into more manageable chunks, and all the themes of the levels are like more distinct, and it actually felt weird to admit to myself that I'm enjoying this to start with.
Yeah.
But, you know, these levels really did grow on me after time.
Well, from what I can recall, you know, of my time with the Wii version, Chunan Night, or Dragon Road Night, I should say, in the Wii version, does use a lot of areas that I think you can see in the HD version, like, you know, the waterfall and so on, but you don't really go there apart from, like, a mini version of it to get a life and whatnot, and I don't mean in the sense that I'll stop playing video games, I mean like a one-up and whatnot. See, look at this right here, like jumping across like stones and whatnot. It's pretty cool. It's not the most intense platforming section I've ever seen, but it could be worse. It could be the stiff jumping controls in the HD version.
Like you say, the HD version did sort of abridge and mesh a lot of it together, but here we spend like a proper bit of time with the initial roads in, then we're going to spend a bit of time around the waterfall, and the same again with the more wall area, and it just like it makes everything feel that bit more memorable. Whereas like I remember parts of the HD one, but I more distinctly remember hoping it had finished soon.
It looks really nice, actually. It's got really good visual direction going on for it.
Yeah, it's got this sort of like a colour map to it that it doesn't like. It's got a lot of colours going on, but it uses the right tones of each of the colours to make it blend well, which sometimes with like lower res games, and it happened a lot with a fair few Wii things that I think of, like they tended to just oversaturate everything and it would just ruin the look they were going for.
I mean, if you're looking at the general colour palette of the level, more so when you're outside, it is very much going for the origin turquoise, which is obviously the standard in films at present. Well, mostly action films, but films in general, because they are the two colours that tend to pop the most and look good together. So I suppose that's why this probably looks quite nice and well done, because I don't think even the HD version really focused on that type of colour matching, shall we say.
We may just be pulling all this out our asses, but the point is that the visual design and, you know, set-piece direction of Chunan Night in the Wii version is good. G-U-D, good.
So not only do we pull out some proper, like, student wankery when trying to assess the colour, we also spell things wrong. Goody.
Yeah, well, you know, expect nothing but the best from HellfireComms. Alright, Stage 2, Rising Dragon Falls. Now that is one video game-ass level name.
Mm-hmm.
I just glanced down, and the other one that we're going to be going to is Path to Darkness, which is more the Edge sort of name.
Yeah, that sounds like a path in Shadow the Hedgehog, man. I'm glad we didn't do that path.
Although, to be fair, in my head, it also sounds like a song in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, true.
Maybe, but Tom, you say that, I'm now imagining a werehog shadow, and that would be like fucking overkill Edge.
Christ, no wonder Maria shot him to Earth. Don't want to deal with that shit, like every full moon and whatnot. But Maria, we're in space, the moon is always full. Just go back to the wizard enemies we saw back there. They come in a variety of delicious flavours. Some, like... Actually, Flame, what do the wizards do? It has completely skipped my mind.
Well, the wizards have this power that if they're still alive and other enemies are getting damaged, they can heal the other enemies, which is really fucking annoying. Granted, they use more sparingly here. They get way worse later, particularly when the fire variants of them come up, because... Yeah, but for the meantime, it's just, they're another enemy to kill, and I try to take them out first because I believe that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of my werehog skill isn't skill, it's just luck. So, say anything I say about the werehog with a grain of salt. Like, if I do anything cool, it was probably by accident.
Yeah, just blame it on the boogie, really. It's not Flame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with the wizards, there are some which will obviously heal. There are others which can increase the power of other enemies.
Nasty.
And those can be particularly nasty. And then later on you get fire variants and electrical variants. And those are not fun.
Nope. See, this area is really cool. It's like literally going up, a waterfall. Or the area. Whoa, how the fuck?
Yeah, I survived somehow.
Yeah, that's jaggy. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is I love going up, like, set pieces and structures and whatnot, so this is tickling my excitement bone, if you will. It is the penis. Just thought I'd clear that up.
Tom, are you sure it isn't Wang the impeding?
Stop it. We can't drill that joke into the ground any more than we already have.
I drill every other joke into the ground, so why make an exception for this one?
True. Anything in particular you want to tell us from your recording travels up this waterfall, Flame?
Well, this level actually didn't take me too many attempts. I think there was maybe one fuck up where I just sort of overjumped something and thought, no, I can do that smoother. But this level in particular isn't that hard. It is as long as you pay attention to the platforming, and this is kind of what I like. This is mainly platforming, the end part of this here, where you're climbing shit.
I could just do this for a whole game. You don't even need the fighting component, really.
Oh, exactly.
Well, it's I'm thinking, these sort of parts where you're using your stretchy arms, you're climbing around, and this is basically 3D Rystar.
A little bit, yeah.
And that just makes me wish they took that approach for all of it, rather than, a cool bit of platforming, then stop.
Yeah, it is very stop and go. I would say they err more on the fighting side come the later levels, but that's not to say either version of Unleashed, skimps on the werehog platforming. It's just that I wish they committed to one or the other, because the fighting's serviceable. It's not exactly deep, shall we say.
Fighting is the parts that make me want to stop playing, and it's not so bad replaying the levels because I've powered up now, but it's particularly in the HD version, it's what makes playing through a raw file really kind of drag after a while. It just takes the fun out of it.
I mean, to be fair, that it does actually end up being a pretty common trend in, I think, a lot of hack and slash titles, is that when you start the game off, you are very underpowered, and so in terms of what combos you can use and just everything, you're very limited.
Yeah.
And that is what kind of drags you down, because you're just I feel like I should be able to do more, but I'm forcefully being prevented from doing so. And it's only once you have gotten some more combos that things start to get a bit more fun, because you can experiment in your combat a bit more, rather than just repeating the same combos again and again and again. It's something that I found very much to be the case in Lollipop Chainsaw, because that game is so much more fun once you have more combos.
That kind of approach, it's very much a double-edged sword. It's like, it makes the game feel much slower and can leave a bad first impression, but it also encourages replayability later down the line. Once you can do cooler shit, once you can just get more satisfying shit together, it just, it does kind of hurt your first impression of the game.
Post-game is usually the way to go for hack and slashes and whatnot, or even just beat 'em ups, really. Is that it? Okay, we can move on. Oh, look at that in the distance, that's amazing.
That is really cool.
It does surprise me how far back you can see in the Wii version, given, in general, it's, a much weaker graphics system.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Secret Rings and Black Knight were, no slouch in the draw distance department either.
That's true. I would imagine it's because, you look at this footage and you got a fair few jaggies, you got a fair few, maybe not bad textures, but every now and then you see a texture that's okay, not so great. So I kind of feel that it's a good idea that they've sort of not overkilled the fancy effects just to make the whole thing as a complete work look that much more prettier. Because it's just that game that even today you sort of got to get that balancing act right, particularly on consoles, where it's do I make it look fancy? Do I make it play well? How can I sort of equally balance the two?
Yeah.
That's where they fucked up big time in the HD one, because you can tell all their efforts went to making the lighting good, making the areas around you look nice, but you get it gets a little bit foggy in parts near the back, but also it really hits the performance. Yeah.
I've actually been looking up how Chunan, or Chunan, I always call it Chunan for some reason, I don't know why, but I was looking up how Chunan is represented in the Archie comics, and it's funny because one of the original Freedom Fighters from SAM, Dulcie the Dragon, was actually given, a redesign, much like Sally was for the modern comic, basically to not look like a random fucking Puff the Magic Dragon among all these furries and whatnot. And let's see. Oh, okay. Right, there's this thing called the Shijin Warriors. I guess they're a group of Chinese freedom fighters and whatnot. You've got Jian the Tiger, who is an ex-egg soldier, Cinder the Pheasant, Bunker the Tortoise, and, Dulcie the Dragon. And they represent the four mythological beasts of the Chinese canon. You've got Dulcie the Dragon, the Tiger obviously, the Black Tortoise, and the Bird. We'll actually be seeing a Phoenix later on, so look out for that. That's all I brought to this commentary. I might as well just be dicking around right now.
This is one section that can be a little bit fiddly, because you've got a combat section, but you've got a combat section on small platforms.
No.
Just pay attention. You gotta use your spatial awareness skills, because otherwise you can start running, throw some punches around, and slip off the edge.
Yes, I remember there's a few instances in the HD version where similar situations can occur, and you're just oh god, no! Ah!
Yeah. Oh god, now you've got things you can grab onto, but they also have projectiles and whatnot. I know that's tripped me up in the past.
Yeah, you've got things with projectiles firing at you while you're trying to jump across bottomless pits. That's what makes it a problem.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't like it at all, sir.
And also there's sometimes, most of the time, these enemies can knock you back, can't they?
A little bit, because of the way the combat works, they don't really knock you back that much just in standard combat. The Titans can. Titans can be a huge problem.
Oh yeah, I'm having flashbacks to fucking Empire City Night, and speak of the Titan Devil.
Here he fucking is.
Oh wow, he's really poorly textured.
Yeah, yeah, first thing off the bat, no, fuck you.
And again.
I will say my general approach here is just keep on punching him, and because like I'm at max health, so I can take the hits.
Yeah, just tank that motherfucker. It's kind of a shame that you don't get like the pile driver finish like you do in the HD version, but you know the trade-off is you can kill him faster. So
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
man, what like an ending destination we've got here.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about when I was sort of reviewing back over the footage a little while back, that, like, there's levels like this that end in a proper logical place, but there's also a lot of levels, particularly in the Wii one, that feel like they ended at dead ends, and it's like, why have I gone here? Like, there's one level, I forget where, but it, like, just ends at the end of a long alley, and there's a gold ring, and it's like, okay, do I now have to go back out and go back to where I'm going to next?
I like the idea of you playing through like Empire City or Skyscraper Scamper to give it its proper name, and you just end up in like an alley beside a Domino's or something.
Yeah, this is where I was going. Fuck the whole, like, you know, fighting off the Gaia monsters. No, I want pizza fun.
Alright, so we're in the HD version now, obviously. Worse frame rate, prettier graphics. Richie, what's your memories of this particular level, mate?
I mean, I always did really quite enjoy Dragon Road Knight. There is a few, there's a moment few bits right towards the end of the level which can be incredibly infuriating, especially if you're going for medals, because it's a lot of jumping on boxes over water.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's so ludicrously... it's here, which is, there's either a sun medal or a moon medal, which is located in the middle of those boxes. Trying to do that jump is absolutely horrendous, because something that the HD version suffers with, like, the lighting is stunning, but because of the way the lighting is done, oftentimes you will end up in a situation where there is no drop shadow, because the light just doesn't shine that way to allow it to happen. And that means that it's very hard to place where you want Sonic to land. And because the whole way of Sonic's movement mid-air is as pernickety as it is, it's so easy to... Like, you go to land and you're actually going to be fine, but then you think, oh god, I'm not going to make it, and so you overcompensate ever so slightly, and then you just fall straight off, and you're dead.
Yeah. And the thing with the Werehog is, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, that I find his controls particularly, maybe not so much like regular Sonic, since you're not really required to do any proper platforming until like later in the game, but the Werehog is platforming from day one, and even just turning around sometimes on a small platform without falling into a pit can be a trial in and of itself. Don't even get me started on like the optional levels or the bonus ones you can find throughout the HUD and whatnot. There is one level, and you two may remember this, you may not, because you're not insane like me, you don't try to do really hard bonus levels, but there's this thing where you basically have to balance on beams and whatnot over like water, which it might as well and is a bottomless pit for the Werehog, while carrying like keys or whatever.
Yes.
And my god, if you're not tiptoeing, you may as well be going to and fro into a bottomless pit, my friends. It's harder than it looks.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, when I did my Sonic Unleashed playthrough, I did play through every single optional stage. Oh my god, that level was an absolute blighter, and I hated it. Now, this is another bit that I remember quite distinctly, because what the game wants you to do to give yourself easier time is run across and leap up onto the top of the other platform that's just on the side, because then you can grab one of the electric things and just chuck it at all the enemies and just basically kill them outright. And you can get like a VHS tape along the way. That's a bit of a pain for the jumping. And then also to the side of this platform, you've got two really long jumps.
Very long, yeah.
Where there's medals on either side, or there's something to collect on both sides. So it's just like, ugh. And I remember when I was recording, I went for that jump, and I missed it, and I was just like, no!
Right at the end as well, that's
right
the
at the
worst.
end. So I think at that point I was just like, you know what? Sod it. I will crossfade because I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I know we've got the pretty birdie on screen and we'll get to him in a minute, but one last thing I've got to say for Dragon Road Knight in the HD version, I appreciate that most of the enemy sections there, outside of the ones in the little stand things in the middle, you can just run past. Like, you saw me do that at the start and at the end there. It's only just to get them out of the way to stop them being an inconvenience. And that's something I wish there was more of, like, either fight the guys to make it easier or run past them and be careful. That works for me.
Very good, very good.
But Dark Gaia Phoenix.
Yes.
I don't like this fight, really.
You're not a fan of it? Do you think it takes too long? Is that the criticism you're going for?
That is the main bulk of it. There's these little cycles of get him to stop doing the thing, get him to a place where you can aim the water aim, then he goes and does this, then you can hit him, then there's some QTEs. And when you got to do that entire process a few times, can't remember exactly how many, it just sort of goes on a bit.
Yeah, it is one of those fights that you spend a lot of time waiting.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are the least fun, because you just end up going, can you just finish your pattern now, please? I'm just getting a little bit bored.
It's like, I know you're going to do this thing that makes you vulnerable, you're delaying the inevitable, let me just hit you already.
Huh.
That said, it's a really nice design.
It is a nice design. Granted, it's being powered by, devil magic right now, but it's a nice shade of purple, I'll give it that. It's almost lavender-esque in its design. Wow, those projectiles look really bad in the Wii version.
They look appalling. But yeah, I will say that the glow on him does look cool, even though he's basically demon gas.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's much difference between the Wii and HD versions of the Dark Gaia Phoenix. We're going to be showing both off just because, that's how we roll. So I guess I'll save my criticisms of the fight until we get to the next and proper one. Although I don't think they'll deviate much from Flame Ulrich's summations thus far. Nice dodge, by the way.
That was pretty impressive, Flame.
Terrible throw, though. Terrible throw.
Well, that's one of the things, sometimes it's not exactly clear when he's ready to be, extinguished yet or not. Sometimes he'll just stay still for a few frames and then he'll fuck off anyway. Yeah, like you say, it is basically the same fight twice, although, this has its slightly weaker control, but still.
Alright, round 2 with this bollocks, let's get it over with.
Although this part in the middle, because we've got the A button attack, which just goes directly up, you can hit him that little bit more confidently, which is always appreciated.
Wow.
Them QTEs were my thoughts exactly. Why?
Nice. Something that comes to mind right away isn't that like the finishing blow in the HD version?
No, the HD version has similar situations. I don't know whether that particular one is the finishing blow, but there's pretty much exactly the same layout of hit him with the thing, get rid of most of his life bar, do the quick time event, repeat.
I mean, just in terms of the way he slams the Phoenix down on the ground, I could have sworn it was just the first round he'll just punch it and jump away, then he'll do something slightly more brutal, follow it with a kick, and then he'll slingshot it into the ground with his head.
We'll have to see in a minute, won't we?
Yeah, we'll see in a minute.
Not a minute, you know how far this fight goes.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough.
Okay, we'll see in about 10 minutes then.
Yeah, but oh my god, yeah, there are 10 minutes left.
These bloody night stages.
Camera, man, that camera was just not cooperating with you there.
Nah. Okay, I'll need another hit. This is the thing, between the phases, he tends to take more water on him to get him to actually give up.
Yeah, well, he's stubborn like that. He's a legendary beast. He doesn't have to conform to your normie rules.
Where hooks are normies?
No, I was mostly referring to you, Flame, but then I realised you're anything but a normie, really. I wish you would be, but alas, you are not.
I have to say, Flame, with your non-norminess, I don't think I have had to mute so many Twitter accounts in my life. Because I keep saying things, I'm just like, no, I do not want to see this. Mute. And it's all your fault.
And there we go.
I like that this is like your stubborn, like, macho way of doing it. Like, you won't just, like, turn off my retweets. You have to just go and do the other accounts one by one.
Yes.
Oh, he says something different in this version.
Ah.
Didn't exactly catch it, because, Flame, you were being passive-aggressive to Richie in turn. But, it's better in the HD version anyway. It's a lot more, yeah, I'm being corny, but in a good way.
The health bar in this one is weird. It seems to, like, reset itself after each phase, yet still progressively go down. And I have no fucking clue how, like, you can actually use that. It would make much more sense just for the health bar to, you know, tell you how much health he has left, but that makes too much sense.
See, watch this. It won't be the flip over. Boom. He just kicks him in the chin and then jumps back.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Oh yeah, you get a different animation each time, yeah.
I guess I'll give my opinion now. Dark Gaia Phoenix, if I only had to fight it once, it's fine. If I have to sit through it twice, it's starting to show its flaws very glaringly. It's a waiting sort of boss, and I'm not really down to clown with waiting bosses. Actually, you know what? I'll slightly, put an addendum on that or whatever. I don't mind waiting, so long as you give me something fun to do while I'm waiting. And unfortunately, Dark Gaia Phoenix doesn't do that apart from setting you on fire, which I am not down to clown with. Fire hurts. It burns.
Thank you there, Captain Obvious.
Shut up. 38-minute fucking part of night stages, mate. You try coming up with better commentary.
Fair point, fair point.
I have to say, though, I do think that in the HD version, something that I've noticed, which is doing a lot better, is that you have a lot more opportunities to hit Dark Gaia Phoenix with the water. Like, you're not waiting for one specific animation to happen to be able to actually whack him with the water. You can actually hit him in different points and it will still work.
I was distracted by him getting smacked in the head, to be honest.
Yeah, we're just enjoying the werehog animations in the superior version of the game, Rich.
Of course, yes.
Fuck yeah.
Alright, like the cut-off bar for when you can get him into cutscene mode is literally like exactly the same, but the bar's just longer overall.
Like, you see what I mean about the health bar there? Like, I've hit him twice. Why does it look like he has almost full health?
It's just a weird thing, really. It's like, it's not even a criticism, we're just nitpicking at this point.
Well, I mean, actually, this is me going into ridiculous mythology mode, but obviously the Phoenix is well known for kind of being reborn from its ashes.
Okay,
so essentially,
Richie.
one life bar gets destroyed, it gets rebuilt anew, more powerful, gets destroyed, gets rebuilt anew. You see?
Let me just correct you there. Phoenixes do rise from their ashes, but they don't get stronger like they're fucking Saiyans or something. Okay, their power level doesn't increase every time they're, like, brought to the brink of death or revived or whatever.
Well, how do you know? Have you ever met a Phoenix?
I can't say that I have, Richie, no. Oh, here we go. The grand high-definition finish. I love this shit.
Let's see this shit.
Oh, yeah. This is what stretchy arms were made for. Boom! Finally, a werehowl.
Strike three, monster!
That's enough out of you!
Yeah.
S-rank, baby.
I like how that boss took me about the same amount of time as the level itself did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, all those maxes. Why, Flame? Why did you do it?
Because I have no life.
Fair enough, mate. Do you know who voices the old man here, Richie?
If I recall correctly, it's Mike Pollock.
It is Mike Pollock, and just to correct you from earlier in the playthrough, although don't worry, I did make sure to edit stuff around, so you were right. It was Dan Green who voices Professor Pickle.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say... Yes. No, did I say that? I thought you said it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh, god damn it.
I am Entom, Keeper of the Audio, and I remember everyone's mistakes except my own.
I love this, like, don't worry, I edited out this part that you were wrong in, but I'm going to tell everyone that you got it wrong.
It's like that thing in the fucking 3NK playthrough where Smoothie said black guy or something, and I just recorded myself saying I cut it out. I don't know why I was like that back then. I think I've calmed down a bit nowadays.
Just a teeny tiny little bit, yeah.
Chip, get out of here. Flick! Oh my god, it's fabulous.
The moment the temple lit up,
I really do like the Phoenix's design when it's in its sort of calm mode. It just looks such like a majestic creature. It's beautiful.
Calm mode. That's the worst power I've ever heard of.
temple. You must have gone berserk when the emeralds lost their power.
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm glad you're back. Want some chocolate?
No! Chocolate enrages the Phoenix!
And also is probably poisonous to birds.
I will accept this token this time, but next time come back with some Doritos. Peace.
It's just going back to its nest. It pisses people off, so they give it food.
Yeah, pretty much. Give me treats or I'll blow up your village.
Not a bad idea, all things considered. It works.
Yeah, I should try that more often, I think. Meanwhile, smash cut to Eggman, although there were like a loading screen or two that Flame cut out in between.
Yeah, shout out to the loading screen for having really awkward fade effects to edit around, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at that realistic sandwich for no reason.
Powered Eggman Land construction.
It is not a patch on Final Fantasy 15 food. I'm sorry. Nothing will ever match that.
We've covered FF15's food porn, okay? Let's focus on the Sonic Unleashed food porn. Wow, he ate that massive sub sandwich in like 3 bites.
That's actually impressive.
Well, it's because he's got a massive goal.
Yeah, correct on both counts. I gotta say, Mike Pollock, especially in this game, really hits it out of the park. Like, Jason Griffith does a good job with the stuff he's given, but I think... And that little stutter effect there, that's not like Flame's recording software, because I remember recording this and thinking my capture software was messing up during that bit. I don't know why, I guess they just encoded that particular cutscene weirdly.
This is unacceptable.
I mean, part of me wonders whether it's because they are running the CGI cutscene over the top of in-engine graphics, and whether that move was just freaking the engine out.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was Mike Pollock does a fantastic job with Eggman in this game, although when doesn't he? Jason Griffith does a great job with Sonic, and also the motherfucking Ergo right here. Finally, a great foil for Eggman to play off, and I'm so glad they kept him around for future games.
Oh, hell yeah.
Part of my plan. Part of the big picture.
It's like Wily if he never admitted he'd done wrong.
Challenge.
I love the logic behind Eggman building a robot that sasses him. That must have been something that he put in. Like, robots don't naturally develop sass, so like, does Eggman like being mugged off? Is this like his companion Sonic when Sonic's not around?
I think he just likes being challenged, honestly. Like, he is genuinely smart, although I guess that might be just, I don't know, book smarts or
Yes.
whatever.
Difficult to collect.
Although he is a feminist, that's what the Sonic Heroes manual says, if I'm recalling things correctly. It may have been Sonic Heroes, maybe in another game.
I believe that was a mistranslation, though.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't there a more efficient way? Some way to, I don't know, gather them all up at once.
Ah, yes, brilliant! My finest work yet! Scroll over here, boot up Microsoft Word.
With this, all of my plans will be realized.
And I guess we'll find out those plans next time, guys, so see you then.